Hi, Michael here, and I just want to give you a little tour of what my wife has been up to lately with the COVID-19 virus. See, my wife is one of the most humble and virtuous people I've ever met, and maybe that's why I was so attracted to her when we were first dating. But I've fallen in love with her ever more, so much more throughout the years. Well, here's an example of what she's been busy doing. Nice picture, huh? She's been taking up art again and doing her wonderful watercolors. For the life of me, I can't talk her into doing oils or even trying them, but maybe someday she'll try that medium. She's not as crazy about acrylics, but watercolors, she seems to make things come alive. And she's been doing such an array of beautiful and meaningful pictures, whether it's cottages out in the countryside, or a bubbling brook as it bends under the bridge in the middle of maybe somewhere in Kentucky or Tennessee. Or another scene of a bridge. She likes the bridges, and she likes to do beautiful countryscapes. This is a much smaller picture, but you can get an idea of the wonderful detail that she puts into even such things as daffodils. She can do buildings wonderfully. In fact, this happens to be one of my favorites. Being a country boy, it kind of reminds me of the area where I grew up here in Wisconsin. And not to be outdone by beautiful boats by the rivers. And I think this one kind of reminds her of her childhood in China because it's the boat parked by the way. And by the way there, if a boat is parked by the way there, one of your neighbors can come along and use it as long as he puts it back when he's done. Probably won't be any harm. The beautiful door in this one so much reminds us of Jesus knocking at the door of our heart. And especially during this time of the year, we really think about the sacrifice that he has made for us. Of course, she loves to paint the church and the mission and the country church. And she sees in that just a way that she can communicate God's love in reaching out towards us. Speaking of God's love, she loves to paint the solid rocks in the ocean because Jesus is our solid rock and he will stand forever. And we can always just cling to him and get a hold of what he has for us at any time. Another one of her favorites is to do things by the seashore. This is another one of my favorites because it's so beautiful as the boats are stationed out in front of the houses of the nearby fishermen. My wife is always thinking about how we can be a better fisherman. Oh, and not to be outdone by the clippers out on the rough sea. And what's more is a sailboat tossed about. See how it's just, you can just see it going, rustling through the waves. But it'll always stay afloat, just as we will always stay afloat if Jesus is in our hearts. And then there's the famous tugboat, which, by the way, sometimes we need a little help in life, and this is what the tugboat does. It comes alongside a big boat and gets him out of the dangerous waters and then safely back to the seashore. Again, the rocks in the ocean, my wife really loves to paint those because she thinks all the time about how Jesus is the rock in our life. And even though the storms and waves of life may come and try and overwhelm us, we can always count on him forever. And last but not least, one of the favorite country scenes, a little pathway that leads into the peace and quietness of the soul. So if you wonder what my wife has been up to during this COVID break, she has been keeping herself very busy, thinking of ways that she can paint beautiful pictures to bless so many more people. And by the way, she usually gives those away to just some friends of ours and loved ones because she has such a giving heart. And I really love my wife a lot. I'm a blessed man. And along with that, with everybody else, I'd just like to wish you a very very happy and blessed Easter, because even then, better than the best person that God could have blessed us with on this earth, there's still Jesus, who on this weekend that we're celebrating his death and burial and coming back from the dead to show us that we can trust in him and that he will never let us down. And that's the best gift of all. So I'm just so thankful to him for his salvation and for the gift he's given me in my wife, Xiaoyan.